If I told you to stop thinking right now, your brain would probably start thinking about how to stop. You might try to force your mind to be quiet, or you might start judging yourself for having too many thoughts. This is the loop that keeps us trapped in anxiety. Most of us try to use our minds to fix our minds, but you can't solve a problem with the same tool that created it. You are watching QuickReader, and today we are continuing our deep dive into Joseph Nguyen's Don't Believe Everything You Think. In part 1, we learned that our suffering comes from our thinking, not the world. Today, in part 2, we are going to look at the technical reason why we suffer. We're going to explore the difference between thoughts and thinking. And I'm going to show you why positive thinking is actually a trap that keeps you stressed. In this book, Nguyen makes a distinction that changes everything. He says a thought is a noun, but thinking is a verb. A thought is mental raw material. It is a divine download that just happens to you. You can't control what pops into your mind. If I say blue elephant, an image pops up instantly. That was a thought. It was effortless. It didn't cost you any energy or willpower. Thoughts are actually a gift. They are the seeds of creativity and intuition. Thinking, however, is the active process of judging, analyzing, and obsessing over those thoughts. Thinking is manual labor for the brain. Imagine a thought is like a guest walking past your front door. If you just let them walk by, that's thought. But if you run outside, grab them by the arm, pull them into your house, and start interviewing them for 3 hours, that is thinking. Now, here is where most self-help advice gets it wrong. We are told that if we have negative thoughts, we should replace them with positive thoughts. But Nguyen argues that trying to think positively is still thinking. It's still manual labor. It's like trying to fight fire with fire. If you are depressed and you try to force yourself to think, I am happy, your brain knows you're lying. You create a mental tug-of-war. You are using a huge amount of energy to suppress the negative and force the positive. This is why people feel exhausted after a day of trying to stay positive. The goal isn't to think better thoughts. The goal is to stop the act of thinking altogether. Peace doesn't live in positive thoughts. Peace lives in the space between thoughts. Why is our thinking usually so negative? Nguyen explains that your brain was never designed to make you happy. It was designed to keep you alive. This is your survival brain. Thousands of years ago, the humans who were positive and ignored the rustling in the bushes were the ones who got eaten by tigers. The humans who were anxious and constantly thinking about potential threats were the ones who survived. Today, we don't have tigers, but we still have that survival software. Your brain treats a deadline or a social media comment like a predator. It starts thinking to protect you, but you can't find fulfillment in a state of survival. To find joy, you have to realize that your brain is just doing its job, and then you have to choose to stop listening to its survival reports. Have you ever noticed that once you start worrying, it's hard to stop? This is the momentum of thought. Thinking is like a snowball rolling down a hill. At the top, when the thought first appears, it's small and easy to stop. But as you keep thinking about it, it picks up speed and weight. By the time it's at the bottom of the hill, it's an avalanche of anxiety. The secret is to catch the snowball at the top. When a thought appears, recognize it as just a thought, a noun. Don't engage with it. Don't turn it into a verb. If you don't add the energy of thinking to it, the thought will naturally lose its momentum and fade away. Think of your mind like a glass of muddy water. Many of us think that to clear the water, we need to reach in and pull the mud out. But if you put your hand in the water to move the mud, you just stir it up more. You make the water cloudier. The only way to clear the water is to set the glass down and do nothing. If you stop stirring the water, the mud naturally settles to the bottom by itself. The water becomes clear because it is its natural state to be clear. Your mind is the same way. Your natural state is peace and clarity. You don't need to create peace. You just need to stop stirring the mud of your thoughts. On QuickReader, we want you to understand that you are not the voice in your head. You are the one who hears the voice. In our next video, we are going to talk about the 3 principles that create your reality and how to use them to change your life forever. For the next 24 hours, try this. Every time you feel stressed, ask yourself, am I just having a thought or am I thinking? If you are thinking, just set the glass down. Let the mud settle. The moment you stop thinking is the moment your happiness begins. See you in part 3.